History usually remembers empires by how they fall. For the Song Dynasty, that memory is harsh. It failed to reclaim lost territory. It paid tribute to its enemies. And in 1127, its capital fell, its emperors were captured, and its northern empire disappeared. On paper, the Song looks weak. But history is not always honest at first glance. Because while the Song was losing wars, it was quietly building the most advanced civilization the pre-modern world had ever seen. This is the story of an empire that mastered peace, commerce, and knowledge, but could not survive a world still ruled by violence. The Song dynasty did not rise from strength. It rose from exhaustion. For half a century before its founding, China had no stable center. Dynasties collapsed one after another. Emperors were overthrown, sometimes in years, sometimes in months. Power belonged to armies. And armies followed whoever paid them. This was not chaos. It was a broken system. Zhao Kuanyin grew up inside it. He was not a philosopher. He was a soldier, one who had watched generals seize thrones and lose them just as easily. When Zhao took power in 960, he understood something most rulers missed. The greatest threat to a dynasty was not foreign enemies. It was its own military. After becoming emperor, Zhao Kuanyin made a choice no previous dynasty had dared to make. He broke the power of the generals. Not through bloodshed. Not through purges. But through design. Command was divided. Generals were rotated. Armies were separated from political authority. The famous cup of wine was not a moment of kindness. It was a declaration. From this point on, the army would protect the state, but never rule it. The result was stability. Coups vanished. Civil war disappeared. The throne became secure. But something else faded with it. The instinct for war. The Song dynasty is often described as militarily weak. That is wrong. At its height, the Song maintained over 1 million standing soldiers. More than almost any empire in pre-modern history. Most of the state's revenue went to feeding, paying, and housing troops. The problem was not size. It was purpose. These soldiers were not trained to conquer territory. They were trained to prevent disorder. The army became a tool of stability, employment, and control. Over time, it lost the ability to move fast, to take risks, to fight aggressively. The Song was not under-militarized. It was overmanaged. In 1004, the Liao army crossed deep into Song territory. Panic spread. The emperor rode to the front. The court prepared for disaster. But the war never came. Instead, the Song paid for peace. Every year, silver and silk crossed the border. To later generations, this looked like surrender. But for the Song, it was strategy. Because peace bought something more valuable than victory. Time. Time to build markets. Time to grow cities. Time to let institutions harden. While other empires chased glory, the Song invested in society. Step into Song China, and something feels wrong. The streets are alive at night. Markets glow with lantern light. Food stalls stay open. Theaters perform after dark. This was not supposed to happen in the ancient world. Earlier dynasties locked cities down at night. Walls separated homes from markets. Order came before convenience. The Song tore those walls down. Not by decree, but by tolerance. Cities became continuous spaces, alive, noisy, commercial. For the first time, an empire operated on an almost modern rhythm. Consumption never stopped. The Song did not invent everything. But it scaled everything. Printing spread knowledge beyond the elite. Gunpowder moved from curiosity to system. Ships grew larger, stronger, capable of crossing open seas. This was not accidental. The Song built institutions that allowed technology to spread. Standards. Markets. Infrastructure. The result was explosive growth. Population passed 100 million. Cities became the largest on Earth. Trade networks stretched across Asia. The song was not conquering land. It was conquering complexity. Unlike earlier empires, the song trusted scholars. Exams mattered. Merit mattered. Officials debated policy openly. They disagreed, sometimes bitterly. Reforms were attempted. They failed. They were revised. This was not weakness. It was a system willing to argue with itself. Few pre-modern states could do that. The contradictions of the song found their symbol in one man. Emperor Huizong. A master artist. A gifted calligrapher. A refined aesthete. And a disastrous ruler. As he collected paintings, the world outside changed. A new power rose in the north, faster, harsher, less constrained. Huizong made a gamble. He allied with the Jin to destroy an old enemy. It worked. And then it destroyed him. In 1127, Jin forces entered the capital. There was no dramatic last stand. The system failed quietly. An empire designed to prevent chaos could not respond to total war. Emperors were captured. The city was looted. The northern song ended. But the civilization did not. The southern song survived. Commerce continued. Technology advanced. Culture endured. What the song lost in territory, it kept in knowledge. This is the Song Dynasty's legacy. It did not fail because it was weak. It failed because it chose order in a violent world. It built a civilization ahead of its time, and paid the price for it. History remembers its fall. But the world we live in still carries its shadow.